welcome. It seems that whenever people gather at a bar, the topic of conversation invariably gets around to sport. And Watney's, conscious of this tremendous interest in sport, have produced 2 previous quiz programs. Well, here at a Watney bar, among all our friends, we're going to find out once again what you know about sport. I'll give you a little clue to start with. You're not going to have to cast your mind back over too many years, so that might help you. Well, now, the first sport is tennis, the 1972 Wimbledon Championships, the men's singles final. Have a look at this. Stan Smith taking up his position to receive service in the final set. He wins that one with a fine forehand shot across court. The first question, on what day of the week was this final played? Smith to receive again at match point. He wins it. For the second question, who was the other finalist in 1972? In 1970, Scotland was the host country for the Commonwealth Games. There were plenty of records broken, and there were many fine performances by some of the world's leading athletes. Let's see if you know some of them. In the Meadowbank Stadium, the long jump is in progress. For the first athletics question, who was the winner of this event? Here comes the winning jump. Now, do you know who that man is? The 1500 meters is always one of the highlights of any track meeting, and the event has produced many personalities from many countries. The winner ranks high in the all-time popularity stakes, as well as being a world-beating athlete. For the second athletics question, who is he? For the third question, what country does he represent? Now for a ladies' event. It's the 400 meters, and we have 2 questions concerning this final. You're about to see a new world record set up by this 17-year-old girl who is emerging as a bright star on the athletics scene. For the 4th athletics question, can you name her? And for the 5th, what country did she represent? Away from the athletics track onto the golf circuit and the 1973 British Open Golf Championship at Troon. It was won by Tom Weiskopf of the United States, seen here holding out on his way to victory. For our first golf question, we want to know who took the second prize. Cast your memories back to 1971 to the Piccadilly World Match Play Championships, when 8 of the world's top golfers were invited to compete at Wentworth. A large crowd gathered expecting to see golf at its best. They were not disappointed. For our second and third questions in golf, name the next two players seen driving off. First, the left-hander. And here's the second. The fourth golf question, name the two players searching for the ball. There's one, and there's the other. It's this kind of miss that can make all the difference between winning or losing a title. One of the players was this popular gentleman from the Far East. For our fifth and final question on golf, we'd like to know his name. Here he is again. Well, I'm glad I'm not the only one that has to look for his ball on a golf course. But now it's show jumping and the trials to select the British team for the Olympic Games in Munich. This is Harvey Smith on Summertime. And for our first question, we want to know where these trials are taking place. And more on Sarn. David Broom on Manhattan. Our second question is, which one of these three was not picked for the Olympic team? We're going to stay with horses, but this time it's racing on the flat. 1973 Longchamp and the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe, the richest race in the world. Coming down the final straight, and it's £60,000 for the winner. We have three questions on this race. First, name the winner. Second, who was the jockey? And finally, who was the winning owner? In the past few years, we've seen a number of overseas rugby sides in this country, and we're going to show you a few of them. The team in the hoops are the visitors, playing against Glamorgan, where they were to lose by 23 points to 11. The first rugby question, what country do they come from? For the second question, name this touring side in the hoops, playing against the England under-25s at Twickenham in 1970. This team practicing are from Eastern Europe. For the third question, what country do they represent? There's no doubt about this touring team, the All Blacks, during their visit for the 72-73 season. There was a spot of trouble at this match and on the tour. It was expected that the All Blacks would win this match against a club side, but the unpredictable happened, and these Welshmen ran out the victors 9 points to 3. For the fourth question, can you name this Welsh club? Well, that was a shock defeat in rugby, but soccer produces its own unpredictable results. It's Colchester versus Leeds in the 5th round of the FA Cup, and Leeds were in for a shock as Colchester went into a 3-goal lead. Leeds pulled 2 goals back, but it was not enough. Our first question, in what year did this take place? This is a dressing room scene before the start of a Watney Cup final. The manager gives last-minute instructions to his team. For the second football question, can you name the manager? The Watney Cup final of 1971 was drawn at the end of 90 minutes, and for the first time the result was to be decided by penalties. Players from both teams watch anxiously from the centre of the pitch as each side alternately take their kicks from the spot. It's all square, and the burden of this final penalty is on the shoulders of a 17-year-old lad from Colchester. There it is, and the cup goes to Colchester. For our third question on soccer, we want you to name Colchester's opponents in this final. In 1973, cricket fans saw the West Indies win the Test series against England and then go on to win the Prudential Trophy, played at Headingley and at the Oval. Here at Headingley, we want you to identify some of the players. First, name this bowler playing his first match for England. Who is the batsman here scoring a 4 with a classic square cut? Here he is again. Who is this young English bowler? Have another look. Here's an England regular. Can you name him? The last of the group of bowlers. Here removing Lloyd's off stump. Can you name him? Here's Mike Dennis, who was made man of the match. But can you tell us what county he plays for? In this match, he captained England, and he also captains his county. We're going to cheat now to show you an all-rounder in action. He bowls, he bats, and he makes no mistake with this catch. The question, who is he? Snooker enthusiasts were able to see some of their favourite players in the Thames television production of Make a Break. And from that program, we bring you three of the competing players in action. And we want you to name all three. Here's the first, putting the pink away. The second, delicately cutting the red into the top pocket.
One set here, a group of balls there.
The third, about to set up a trick shot. So can you name all these three?
Into the yellow pocket here.
One more snooker question. Which of the three has never been the world professional champion? Well, it's always good to see the experts in action in any sport or game, and for our last item, we're going to see two more, this time at darts. The 1973 News of the World Championships held at the Alexandra Palace and played in what is just like a cup final atmosphere.
Another ton would be oh so welcome for him. 20 there. 24.
It's the final played between Ron Church of London and Ivor Hodgkinson of Nottingham. They've each won one game, and they are now in the third and deciding game. This is how World of Sport viewers saw the final.
That's 20. 115 left. 80! 80 scored. 80 scored. Now Hodgkinson. Hodgkinson banging the 60. Banging a 60 again. It's 120, 140. Phenomenal stuff. Oh my goodness. It gets better and better. And now he wants 55. Ron Church on 55. That's 45, I think. I think it's 3. Is it 3? 45! 45 scored. And he's missed his shot out. And Hodgkinson now. Hodgkinson, what does he want? He wants 76. 60 double 8 is his shot. He'll go after that one, I'm sure. That's a 15. Oh, just on the wire, treble 5. What's he going to go for now? 20, 25, 40 scored. Is it the shot out? Oh, what is it? What is it? We just don't... We can't hear for the noise here. We couldn't hear for the noise. I think he wanted 2. I think he wanted 2 18s and he missed it. And it's Church now for double 5 to win the championship. That's 2 outside. Is that one there? No, he's missed it. He's missed it. He's missed it, and he wants 2 9s. 2 9s, Hodgkinson for the championship. 2 9s. That's a 12. I think it's a 12.
That's too many, double 12.
No, it's double 12. That's double 12. The tension is unbearable. Church now wants 2 5s. Ron Church from London, with the crowd going mad behind him, wants 2 5s. Oh, 5 to rip. He wants a 1 and 2 2s. What's that? That's 3. He wants 2 1s. How's that? Is it there?
Now, we're not going to show you the end of that final for the moment because I want to ask you 2 questions. Who was the winner, and what was the highest score you saw in that piece from the final? Well, I expect you found most of those questions quite easy, but in case you didn't get them all right, I'll be back later with the answers.
Come on, Sid, move about, boys.
Yes. Welcome back to the Watney Sports Quiz. And now you can find out whether or not you've won, because here are the answers. Score 1 point for each correct answer. If you score more than 25, you certainly know your sport. We started with tennis, and the men's final at Wimbledon 1972 was played on Sunday. The tournament was lengthened because of the bad weather, and the beaten finalist was Ilie Nastase. Athletics and the 70 Commonwealth Games. The men's long jump winner was Lynn Davis. The gold medalist in the men's 1500 meters was Kip Keino, and of course Kip comes from Kenya. The ladies' 400 meters was won by Marilyn Nerfville, and she was representing Jamaica. And now to golf. The second place in the 1973 British Open was shared by Johnny Miller and Neil Coles. If you only named one of the players, you only score half a point. And now the players you had to identify in the 1971 Piccadilly Match Play Championship. The left-hander was, of course, Bob Charles, followed by the great Arnold Palmer. The two men looking for the ball, Gary Player and Jack Nicklaus. And the star of the East was Mr. Lou. And now we move on to the show jumping arena. And the venue for the British Olympic trials was Hicksted. And the unlucky show jumper to miss selection for the Olympic Games was Harvey Smith. And now to flat racing in the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe 1973. It was won by Rheingold, ridden by Lester Piggott, and owned by Henry Zeisel. Now those touring rugby sides. First you saw the Japanese, then the Fijians, and the team practicing were the Romanians. And it was Fanetley who beat the All Blacks in the 72-73 season. Now to the round ball. Colchester did their giant-killing act on Leeds in 1971. The manager of the successful Colchester side was Dick Graham, and the opponents they defeated in the Watney Cup final in the same year were West Bromwich Albion. Now to the Sun at Headingley. And the cricketers were Mike Hendrick of Derbyshire, Rowan Canhigh, the West Indies captain, Chris Old of Yorkshire, Derek Underwood of Kent, and Bob Willis of Warwickshire. Mike Denness plays for and captains Kent. Finally, the all-rounder, Tony Gregg of Sussex. The three snooker players we asked you to name were John Pullman, David Taylor, and Ray Reardon. It was David Taylor who has never been world professional champion. And finally, darts. We left the 1973 News of the World final with Ron Church and Ivor Hodgkinson each needing a double to win. And here's how it finished.
Inside, it's inside. Oh my goodness. Now Hodgson's going to get his turn. He wants 2 nines. 2 nines, he's wide of it. It's right on the wire. Yes!
Yes, it was Ivor Hodgkinson of Nottingham who took the title. And the highest score you saw was 140, made by Ivor Hodgkinson.
A 2-9 shot out, really the most dramatic finish I think we've ever seen in the News of the World dart final.
So, congratulations to the winners, commiserations to the losers, but I'm sure you've had a lot of fun. And I think we've given you something to talk about over the next pint. Cheers.